So am I audible and visible?
Yeah, you're good.
So a very warm good morning and welcome to all. I am your moderator Pragya Sharma of BSc AG 4th year. First of all, thank you all for taking the time and join us today as we talk about foreign studies. Foreign education, particularly in a global economy, is a very important part of 24th century. In the world that we live in, no one is living in an island to themselves, so we need to expose students to the world out there. There are opportunities to learn from all different parts of the world. Moving on, I would like to welcome our alumni who are also the speakers for this session. Mr. Shushtideep sir of 2020 batch, currently pursuing his MSc in plant pathology from North Dakota State University. Mr. Sudarshan sir pursuing his MS in soil science and environmental chemistry and currently working for microplastics. Mr. Aniket Singh sir, 2022 batch, currently pursuing his MS in biological sciences from South Dakota State University and is currently working in the determination of auxin cytokinin ratio in root nodules. I would also like you all to let you know that this session is going live on our YouTube channel, Social Media Outreach Club of ISBHU. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Shushdeep sir to address our participants.
Hey guys, I think thanks Pragya for introduction. I think most of the people know me, and I'm Srishti Pangidi, and I have passed out from BHU from 2020. Right now, I'm doing my master's in phytopathology from North Dakota State University. So it's a good initiation from the placement cell to keep a session on this. So in this session, we're gonna cover about like what are the exams you're gonna take and how to develop a resume, letter of recommendation, and how to write a cover letter and statement of purpose, and how to mail professors and how to search for professors and what are the steps you need to do for interview and stuff. We're gonna look into it. And after that, we're gonna talk about the future perspectives after completion of masters from USA and PhD from USA. We're gonna look into it. So coming to the examinations, and it is a shared session between me and Sudarshan. Sudarshan is going to speak about TOEFL, and I'm going to speak about GRE and IELTS right now. So coming with the examinations which are required for getting an admission into US are GRE and IELTS or GRE or TOEFL. English language is important for coming into US, Canada, and other European countries, but GRE is only mandatory for coming into United States of America. And coming to the pattern, like most of the people know, like what GRE pattern is and stuff. GRE consists of three things. First is quants, another is verbal, the third one is the essay writing. You know, the quants consist of the mathematics, which you have learned from 10th to 12th standard. It's not pretty tough. And the only challenging part of the exam is English, where the verbal session is. It consists of reading and finding the synonyms, antonyms, and how logically you are analyzing it and stuff. So your more focus would be on verbal part when you are focusing on exams. And normally I receive questions asking like what is the minimum score you need in GRE. So there is a point that there is no minimum score in GRE. How much you try to score, that would be the best thing. So the GRE would be of 340 marks in total. You guys know that. But I would say try to aim for 300 or 300 plus. But these days, as GRE has become a take-home exam, many people are trying to do fraudulent activities and they are trying to get 320 out of 340 and still they are unable, the GRE sites are unable to catch those people. So it's a kind of competition which is building in the society. But please try to be genuine and don't try to go into all those other scenarios. Just believe in yourself.
Hello.
And coming to the IELTS, you know, it is having like, and the other part is the essay part. The essay part is like you should be very quick and fast with typing because GRE is not like a paper-based exam. It's completely a computer-based exam. So you need to improve your typing. You need to check your grammatical errors. You need to check your pronunciations and how good you are with analyzing a topic and stuff. And next part is the IELTS. The minimum score requirement or a good band is like 6.5 and above. But I would suggest just be like 7 is a good score. and no band less than 6 is minimum in IELTS to get admission into it. It's like a mandatory exam we call. I think the exams are pretty clear, I think so. Now I request Sudarshan to speak about TOEFL.
So your voice is breaking. So your voice is breaking, sir.
Rival?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so getting into the TOEFL, so the first thing that we need to understand is there are two exams that you need to give. The first one is GRE, and there is an English proficiency test, or like any other English test, like TOEFL or IELTS or PTE that you need to give. You can choose between any of them according to your university's requirement or the your country's requirement. So like US prefers sometimes TOEFL, and some universities in US prefer TOEFL, or like in UK, if you try, then they prefer to have a IELTS exam, and if you plan for the Australia, then they are prefer to have a PTE exam. So these are the English language test or English proficiency test. So as Sushdeep already told about IELTS, so I'm going to cover the TOEFL part. So TOEFL is similar to uh, IELTS in many sense, and it is also a computer-based examination that you have to give. The full marks is 120, and it consists of the four parts. The first one is reading, listening, speaking, and writing. So let me get into all of those. So the first part is the reading, and it consists of 3 to 4 passages in which there are like 30 to 40 questions where you have to read the passages and respond to the questions. They are not like very hard or anything like that. They don't consist of anything new, or like they consist of university level textbook excerpts, let's say, like the part from a textbook, so that you get the idea of it, but you don't know much of it, but you get the idea of that. So the next one is listening. In listening, there are two types of listening, in which like there are 3 to 4 lectures and 2 to 3 conversations with between two speakers, and they consist of 28 to 39 questions. So I'm telling like there are this many questions, because the recently
But
TOEFL has the ETS has done is they put one extra section in either reading or in listening, so that doesn't consist of any marks for you, but that is used for a survey. So you can get one in either reading or you can get in listening. So that's why I'm telling like there may be this to this questions. So the next one is speaking, and that consists of the two, in which you have to say speak as an independent speaking task, and there are 4 tasks, and there are 2 to 4 questions which are integrated speaking tasks, where you have to read and listen, and then you have to speak about those things. So that would consist of around 17 minutes, and that in independent uh, questions, independent speaking, it requires you to draw like your ideas, your opinions about those things. And in the integrated speaking task, you have to listen to the lecture or between the conversations, and you have to give your opinion, or you have to give what you understood from those lectures or speakings. So the next one is writing, and it consists of 2 tasks. One is 20 minutes, which is integrated writing task, and another is independent writing task. So the integrated writing task, in which you have to listen to something and you have to read something, and then you have to give your opinion based on those readings and hearings. And in the independent writing task, you have to write an essay that we already know, like on your based on your opinions, your justices. So the these are the like four basics that you have to give go through the TOEFL. So I have like few suggestions if you are trying to pursue TOEFL or even IELTS. So what happens is we don't practice more. we don't practice more. We think like we read, yeah, we can do the reading section, you practice more and more about the reading section, you practice the listening section more and more, like you do 20, 30 times you can do that. But for speaking and writing sections, we, not only you, I also personally think like I can do this much, I can speak, that's my thing, I can speak and I can write. That's our mentality. I don't know if any everybody goes through this one, but I went through this, and that is the one mistake that I made. I should have practiced more in speaking also and in writing also. For the writing, like I practiced 2 or 3 times. Like okay, I wrote for a 50 minutes, like around an hour, and I thought, okay, I can do this much. This is not that much hard or anything like that. But due to our lack of practice, we lack in those areas. We don't know like the time management. We don't know the what goes through your mind in the examination hall. So this is the only suggestion. You practice more, and for the speaking part, I especially request you guys to, for the speaking part, practice. You speak with someone else, or you speak in front of a mirror, or you speak in front of like anyone, friends or families or anything. But you have to practice. That's one of my suggestions. So I think this concludes my TOEFL section. So back to you, um,
मेरा
Srishti.
नाम भूल गए.
And I want to add a one thing what Sudarshan has said, and the important thing is reading. So I would suggest you better read newspaper daily. That would really help you in improving your fastness while reading. And I would suggest listen to some good English songs or go through English movies without subtitles. Just go through them, which would improve your listening skills and understanding skills of the words. And coming to the preparation part, it's better. I would suggest like if you are taking a take-home preparation for GRE or IELTS or GRE or TOEFL, it's better you start from 4 months before to get a good score. That would be the ideal part. And when you guys are in the starting of fourth year, I would suggest you start preparing for your IELTS or TOEFL. Or third year, last semester would be the best part because when you start the fourth year, you would be in a position to start mailing the professors abroad. And don't get worried if your score is bit less because few people get 300 and above, few people get 300 and less than 300. So it doesn't matter sometimes. And because of COVID, some universities have deleted the GRE option. It's only based on IELTS these days or TOEFL these days. So anything can happen at any point of time. Just don't lose your hope. And after examination, the second part would be like building resume. Building resume is important part of a student's curriculum because resume is not built in like 2 months or a single month. It is like of 4 years of your work or 3 years of your work, what you have done. So to have a nice resume, you need to have some trainings, some internships. And you guys are really blessed that you guys are in BHU right now and there are a lot of professors and a lot of projects are going on and you have like ample of time from second year where you know the basics and stuff. You can go to the professors and ask them like, can we do our summer internships under your guidance or in their project where you come to learn about many new things. I think most of the people who are in US right now, somewhere or the other part, they have done their internships from BHU. I have personally did my summer internship or kind of training under Dr. PK Singh sir, and I want Aniket also to share his views on how he built his resume because he's the new one who came to US and how did it help.
So I have sent you the request. Please unmute yourself.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
First of all, I would like to appreciate the uh, efforts of this placement cell that they are organizing. And secondly, I'm the most recent guy, so there are certain things that I like to share from myself. So, so the whole process, like from starting of preparation to coming here is a very long and cumbersome process. Like in start preparing for your GRE, then your TOEFL, then next step is your lab internship and about your writing skill, and then you go for SOP, and then for at the last step you go for interview and then for visa. So and these all steps are quite different from each other, right? If you know very much about, like suppose you have scored very much of very good marks in GR, like it doesn't have any effect on your grades score, or it cannot show that you have a good writing skill. So these parts are very much different from each other. So so the whole scenario is that uh, like in my case, I was constantly engaged with like Sushtideep sir when I started preparing for PTI, and Rahul Raman sir and Vivek Kocha sir. These all people have guided me about each and every step. Like I still remember when there was my first interview. So I just one day before that interview, I called Sushtideep sir, and he gave me what are the basic etiquettes that the professors in US follow. So we have to behave in that sense to increase our chance of selection, right? So there is a lot of things which are involved in this whole process. It's not like a single exam that will determine I mean like which university you're going to get. It's not like that. So each and every step has to be you have to put equal effort on each and every step, and at last and still there is no guarantee at last that you will be able to get some, you will be able to get a graduate research assistant. So, as Sir said, don't lose your hope. So, the basic thing behind this is like you should always, be connected to your senior or the professors which are there. And in BHU also there are a lot of professors who have been here in USA for their postdoc. So they have also, they also know very much. So they can also help a student a lot, like P. Arun sir and PK Sharma sir. I have did my internship under PK Sharma sir for around 7 to 8 months. So that would prove very helpful for me because my interview was on the advisor here. He basically focused on that part of my CV, which that work of my CV that I did under this supervision. So that proved to be very helpful for me.
Yeah, thanks, Aniket, for sharing your experience. So yeah, so the next question comes is like when we need to do our internships or when we need to do or when we need to utilize our time regarding this thing. So the best time would be your summer vacation, where you're gonna get like summer vacation for 2 months or 3 months, I think so. But the BHU is quite open at that time, and still the projects are going on. So that time would be really a good thing for you to utilize for your internships. And there are a lot of professors there working on really good projects. So you can start from second year onwards. Only after second year, you can get enrolled into any internship. Just be in talks with the professor and just show your interest that you really need it and you really wanted to work with them. Unless and until you show your real zeal and your real interest, they are not going to accept you for sure. And it also depends upon while you are coming to the final year, you need to have some publications too, because publications these days has become like one of the major concern right now. And publications doesn't mean you need to have a research article or something. It's better you can have a review articles too. And it's not so hard to write a review article. Review article, you can go through like a lot of YouTube videos and you can start writing a review article by your own, like 3 4 people from the same class or your friends can contribute to a review article on the ongoing topics. I have seen like many people from different universities are writing like for articles for magazines and for some small journals, which says that those people are showing interest in writing too, and which would be a major concern for a professor who is taking you in future, that this guy is having some writing experience too. And another thing would be to improve your resume is your summer trainings. I think BHU is
Yeah.
organizing really good trainings for you guys in every summer and winter, I think. So try to attend as many things as possible in your pocket and just make a cash of it. That's it. These all gonna just be part of your resume and these all gonna build your resume in future. And coming to the OGPA for bachelor students who are trying to come to masters,
Akash,
the
थोड़ा वो
below average or average would be 7 and above is the minimum, I would say. There is no need like to maintain like higher grades also. It doesn't mean that, please, it doesn't mean that if the one who are having like 8.5 or something degrade your grades or something. Only my thing is saying like if you have like 7.0 and above, that is like more than enough. Don't get worried about it. And I would request Sudarshan to talk about the repeat and back years and how they're going to affect in the admission process.
Okay, so there are a few things that I will say about the like backlogs and other that you need to have things. So the first thing is just like Sushradeep said, you need to have some papers in
अभी हम
writing research articles or review articles with you. So it's not mandatory that you need to have those things. It's not mandatory. There is no written anything like that. You need to have some this much of paper. But in the pool of the students, if you have one research article or one review article, that makes you above the pool, or you are in the very good line of sight from the professor. So that gives you an advantage, right? So like many universities are now waiving GRE,
यहाँ पे कोई भी
but if you have
एक्टिविटी
a GRE, then that makes you a like very good candidate. You fulfill the requirement that the professor needs at the time. So you have to consider writing research article. You cannot write a research article like without any doing any research, but you can write a review article. So what? Why I want to say one like I have one example. So Sushrudeep and I were in the like final year, and there was a class from Rakshit sir. You all know Rakshit sir, right? So and he's sent us to guava orchard in the like horticulture field, and then we went there and we did some like flame photometer test. We test the pH, we test the electrical conductivity of the soil on the area, carbon content, and like NPK analysis and everything. And he told us to write a report out of that. So what I did was like we wrote a report, like everybody from our class wrote a report. And at the time I thought, okay, why not if we give this a try? And Sushrudeep and I, we talked, and like why not give this a try to into a small research article. It is not a very good big thing, but it is a small thing, but it can be written into a research article. So we did that and we published that, and now it is that become a like very one good thing for me, because I got into this university because of that article that we wrote. So a small thing, but like even from a small projects you can write the research article, but you need to have a very good foundation for that. And for the review articles you need to read a lot and lot and lots of, you have to read a lot, and you have to read how to write the review article. So that's one thing. So getting into the backlogs and other things. So if you have a backlog, then you have to have one thing in that makes you stand out from all the other from your backlog. So if you have a research article, but if you have a backlog, then that can cover you in some hint. Like the professor can think like, okay, even if he has a lower OGPA, then he has a very good writing skills. The professor can think in that way. He have a very good skills in his hand, he have a very good laboratory experience in his hand. So this might not affect him. You need to have a good OGPA, or like you need to have your academics. When you get here, you have to do that, you have to maintain that, because you are here under the professor's stewardship, and you have to prove that to the professor that you are worthy. So you have to be honest to yourself, and like you have to be very hardworking on that sense. But I don't think that much of a like backlogs or any lower CGPA or OGPA that hampers you, but you need to stand out from the pool. So you need to have like either you need to get some internships, you need to get some summer trainings, or you need to get some laboratory experiences when you get the chance. Like Sushrudeep and I and Anik I'm sorry, Aniket, we all did some works. Me and Sushdeep worked on under PKSing search stewardship at the time, and so that gave us a little bit handiwork on like how we are going to uh, do laboratory works, how are we going to handle the machines, or how are we going to handle the samples that we get. So small things, but these things matter a lot, and so I prefer to say get your uh, academics right first. That is the one thing. If you, because if you are now in first year or second year, I have seen many people who are in first year or second year who are here present here. So for you guys, first thing is get your academics right. That is the thing that you need to do. No other options. But if you are past that phase, then you need to have something in your hand that makes you stand out. So that is my suggestion, and that is my say. So to go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Sudarshan, for the suggestions and sharing your past stories with them. That's really so nice of you. So that's what resume is of. And another thing you can add to your resumes is that the conferences which are ongoing everywhere in the world, and mostly you can concentrate on the conferences which are going in India basically, which the price is also very less. It's like 1,500 or 2,000 rupees, I think, so for one conference where you can get registered and show your results. Sometimes you can do a poster presentation in extension projects like what you are doing and stuff. That would be a really good platform for you to show your potentiality of research and how concerned you are about the future goals and stuff. And coming to the next part, we will talk about the cover letter and statement of purpose. So coming to the cover letter for undergrad students, your cover letter would be consisting of all the things which you have done in your undergrad, mostly agronomical practices, soil science and plant sciences. So you can mention about these things in your cover letter, but you should focus on the things which you are focusing for your admission. For example, you are applying for soil science or agronomy. So these two things come under one category. Okay. So when you are writing your cover letter, so whether you're writing it for agronomy or soil science, it's not going to be a big difference when you come to US, because in US most of the courses are integrated. And in the same way, it comes with the plant sciences too. When you're talking about plant sciences, it's not genetics and plant breeding. It is plant pathology, biotechnology, microbiology, genetics, and plant breeding. So when you are applying for masters in US, I prefer writing two cover letters, one with the majors of crop sciences, which includes agronomy and soil science, soil chemistry, soil physics, everything goes into it. Even the precision ag goes into that. The other one would be for plant sciences, which includes the pathology, breeding, microbiology, and stuff. And when coming to the PhD applications, you would be more focusing upon your major area of concern, which is the degree you are getting it from masters. For example, you are doing your masters from plant pathology, you still have a potential chance and a scope of transferring your degree to genetics and plant breeding, because in US, I mentioned it already, these are integrated. So you have that chance. So only thing you need to do while applying for PhD is that you should blend the subjects, have your pathology knowledge, you can use it in the genetics. Because right now I'm doing masters in plant pathology, but most of my project is with resistance breeding and stuff. So in US, the projects are in these scenario and these cases would be there here. And so that is the thing. And your cover letter shouldn't exceed like one page. It should be only like one A4 size sheet, around 300 to 350 words. That's it. And next thing is the statement of purpose. Statement of purpose normally goes from 2 to 2.5 pages, where you're gonna start with your background, and from the background you go to your higher secondary education and your undergrad education, like what made you choose the agriculture and stuff. And after that, you're gonna highlight your experiences in undergrad, like what you have done. And the next paragraph would be like mentioning your future goals, like what you wanna do in the concern area. For example, if it is agronomy or soil science, you're going to say that you wanted to work on sustainable agriculture or precision ag. If it is like plant breeding or plant pathology, you can say that you want to work on like host plant resistance. or like genomics or bioinformatics, which is your area of concern. You can say an insightful thing that I'm interested in these things. That's the reason I'm choosing the university or the professor. And in the last paragraph, you can conclude saying it that uh, this is the project I'm interested in, and I know that like this is the professor who is having that project, so I would request him, or I would consider him, or I would request him to consider for the position. So this is your statement of purpose gonna be. And coming to the mailing of professors and searching for the position, Sudarshan would speak on the this topic, like how to search a professor or how to search a position and how to mail a professor.
Okay, so before that, I will cover one more thing, the letter of recommendation.
Yeah,
So
go ahead.
for
Sorry
the
for
letter
that.
of recommendation, you need to have first you need to find your subject, right? What you want to study. Either you want to study plant pathology, or you want to study genetics, or you want to study breeding, or you want to study soil science and every other things. So first find your subject, and if after you find your subject, you need to find the professors that can give you a reference to. So let's say I am from soil science, so I will ask professors from soil science department, so that gives me a upper hand in my application process, right? So the first thing is, do not exaggerate the things. Do not exaggerate. Like many professors may tell you, like, can you send me a draft so that I can see that and I can write on that way. So at the time you will be writing your letter of recommendation by yourself in certain situations. So in those times, or even if the professor is writing the things, then you can ask them, "Please do not exaggerate the things that I know." And the second thing is, show the personal relationship between you and the professors. If you are working under the professor, then you tell them like, you write that he worked under my guidance in these projects. So mentioning the projects, that helps you a lot. And the next thing is, uh, don't lie about yourself in the letter of recommendation, because if you are going to write that letter of recommendation and the professor is going to sign, don't lie on that, because lying can sometimes be harmful. So like Sushrudeep was saying in the uh, uh, statement of purpose, do not lie. That if you exaggerate the things, or if you lie, the professor is going to expect you to do certain things that you lied. Like if you say, I have this kind of laboratory experiments, but you have not done any of those. If you have a little bit slight knowledge, then you can write. But if you have not done those parts, then please don't write that, because the day professor asks you to do that, you are going to be like ashamed of yourself, because you don't know what the hell is he talking about at the time. So uh, in the letter of recommendation, first find the professor and find multiple professors, so that like if you are not going to stick to one subject, if you are not going to stick to the soil science or only to the plant pathology, but if you are searching for the overall agricultural area that you want to study here, then you find your multiple letter of recommendations from multiple professors, so that you can email the prospective professor on on the basis of what you want to study. So mail to different professors, and don't exaggerate the things, don't lie, and show the personal relationship between you and your professor on the writings, or ask them to uh, write about the personal relationship that they have built with you. So next thing is, I want to say about how to find the universities, or how to source the universities, or how to find the professors. So first, find your subject, what you want to study. And the second thing is, don't stick to the subject. So Sushrudeep has mentioned in many occasions here today, like the subjects are integrated here right now, because you are going to learn about the machine learning in agriculture, or you are going to learn to fly the drones in agriculture, or you are going to learn about like how to data analysis, or like you may move to the data science or everything. So subjects are interrelated or integrated here. So don't stick to one subject. Like if I first, when I applied here, I was applying for the soil science, but now I am working on the environmental chemistry. So there is a slight deviation, but the subjects are integrated. So the second thing is, source the professors. So how to source the professors? There are multiple ways to source the professors. So I'm going one by one. first thing is you go to the university's website and you find the professor. But you can't directly find the university professors in the university's website. So let's say someone is, let's say I'm trying to find a professor in the plant pathology department of a University of North Dakota. Let's say. So what I can do is I go to the plant pathology department of North Dakota State University. If you go directly to the North Dakota State University website, it would be very hard for you. So first go to the department's website, because there are like we all know BHU has one website, that is bhu.ac.in, or I don't know, I forgot that. And our IAS has different website. If you try to find the professor's name in the BHU's website of in the Institute of Agricultural Sciences, then that would take a lot of time and you cannot get the right part to the professors. So first go to the department that you are searching in, and you find the website of those departments, and in those departments you can find our faculty or our people or something like that, and in that category you will find the professors list. So after you find the professor from that university, see the professor's profile. So when you are looking through the professor's profile, see what the projects they are working on right now. They have, in like most of the universities, mention the projects the professor is working on, the research papers or articles that the professor has uh, published in the recent years or from their, like from the past. And they also put the like small resume of the professor. And sometimes they mention the professor's like history, like from where that professor has passed from. So that gives you an idea that, suppose I'm searching, looking in the professor's profile from North Dakota State University, and like in his resume it is said like he has passed his bachelor's or master's from South Dakota State University. Then I can say, okay, the subject that I'm trying is also in South Dakota State University. So now you can approach to the South Dakota University's website also. So that is like you go from one position to another position, you link the dots. And the second way of finding the professor is LinkedIn. So you first go to the LinkedIn, you open the profile, you see like just type plant pathology, then you'll get a lot of information in there, and you see the people in there. And then if you don't like, if you don't want to try that hard, sometimes you can just do is write hashtag plant science jobs. That much only can give you a lot of information about the jobs or openings or the vacancies that are currently on the plant science. So another thing is seniors and juniors, sorry, seniors and friends. So Sushtudeep helped me a lot when I was coming here, because Sushtudeep was already here in US, and at the time I asked him how can I find the universities and professors, and so he told me like there is opening in this university, there is opening in that university. So that gives me an like idea. Okay, I can go to that university's profile or professor's profile and see the requirement that they have posted, and I can apply that. So the next thing is a little bit tricky, but this is a very like interesting part. So. Uh, are you guys on Twitter? Is anybody on Twitter? Like you guys can raise your hand. So let's me. So Twitter is very good way of finding the professors. So like in LinkedIn, you see a one professor. So let's say I'm working on microplastics right now. So I read an article. In the article, there is a writer. Let's say Sushrudeep is a writer of the article. So I go to Sushrudeep. I search the Sushrudeep on Twitter. I find him, and then I see his followings. Who is he following? So for the professors, they follow other professors. They also want to be in the game, right? So one professor is following another professor, and you can see, and sometimes the professor that you are searching, like the professor that you just searched or you just found, will be, you can see on the feed or like the tweets, they have retweeted many job openings in them. They may retweet, like not everybody will retweet, but sometimes they retweet. And once I went through the similar thing, like I was searching one professor and he has retweeted one job opening or and I applied in that. And for another professor, he had posted like there is a summer class for if any international student want to study in US for the summer, then they can apply there through. And I applied, and I studied for a semester biochemistry in University of Nebraska Lincoln. So sometimes, so Twitter is like, if you dive into it, you can find this very interesting twist from the professor. And the good thing is they have the very detailed information placed in the Twitter. Not only on Twitter but on other LinkedIn also. But in Twitter, I have found many professors posting like, then this many students are required, or like I am searching for a student in the fall or the spring or any other semester, and they have posted the requirements, and they have posted the what projects they are working on right now. So a small thing, but like Twitter can be a very definitely a very good point to start also, like for searching the professors. I think uh, that's all from my side for the searching of the professor and writing the letter of recommendation. So, Sridhar, yeah.
Yeah, and coming to the another thing about how to find a professor. So the thing is like mostly it is through social media, and I would suggest like you guys start creating your account in LinkedIn who don't have account in LinkedIn, and start creating the Twitter account, because if you go through our Facebook page which we are having in Facebook regarding the, I don't know the name of the page, sorry for that, I just forgot it. Most of the postings which we do in that page are from Twitter or LinkedIn only. They are not something else from some different university website or something else from there. Those are only the copy paste postings from Twitter or LinkedIn or the university website. That's it. And next, coming to the interview part. So before going to interview, one important thing is like to get replies from professors from universities or from United States, Canada, Europe, Australia. You need a lot of patience first, because it's not going to happen like in a month or two, or you just made like 50 mails in a day and you just keep waiting for the reply whether I'm going to get or not. It's like a continuous process. You need to mail them, search for them, find a good position for you which fits you. All these things go on continuously. So my suggestion would be don't lose hope if you don't get a reply, because most of the replies are in a negative way, such as they mention as they don't have funds, or they are not taking students right now, or they don't have vacancies. And some won't say it in this way, but they give like a push for you saying that I would consider your resume right now. If I get any funding or any positions in future, I would definitely consider you. All these things are the kind of replies which we get from the professors or the PIs who are in United States or the one who are in foreign countries. So after this, some people would call you for an interview because they would be getting like continuous applications for the advertisement they have posted. So they would pool or they would segregate a set of applications. For example, if they are receiving like 50 applications, you think so, they're going to segregate like 10 out of 50, checking on the basis of your resume, skill set, and letter recommendations who you added in your resume. So these 10 people would be called for an interview. So what you're going to do for interview to stand ahead of all other people? First thing, you're going to go and visit the profile of the professor who is going to take your interview, and check his recent publications and check his grants, like grants in the sense like what are the projects going on for him. And you need to read those research papers, and you need to understand the concepts and what he's working on and what is the machinery he's working on. The working machinery can be found in materials and methods, so that this will tell that okay, this is going to be on these bases or a link project to that or something related to this. So this is one part you are preparing for your interview. The important part is your resume, like what you have written in your resume. Just be prepared for what you have written in your resume. The person who is going to take your interview is just going to ask you from resume. It's not like an Indian interview. They're going to ask like what is the botanical name or what is the scientific name of sunflower or something, how many chromosomes a sunflower is going to have or something. Just they're going to ask you like what you have done in your resume. They're going to ask on the machinery which you worked on or the projects you worked on and the projects which are similar to the one he's working on. So mostly the interview goes on these things, and he want to know about the idea and mindset of you, like how you going to contribute to the future research? Like what is your scope? What is your future goals? So mostly we say that our future goals would be on working on sustainable agriculture or food security kind of stuff. So you can stick to those two things every time. But important thing is like your resume. So what you're writing on your resume, just be cautious about it. If you are faking anything in your resume also, be in a situation to defend it. Because something you are writing in your resume is like you have done it and you have an experience in it. It is not like that just you have seen somewhere so that you mentioned it in your resume, okay? It should be something which you have worked on and you have a knowledge on it. So if someone asks like how does a centrifuge machine works, how does a PCR work, you need to be in a position to say them that okay, in this project we use this PCR machine to find out these primers we worked on. So for every question, keep an explanation ready, like where did you use it, how did you use it, and stuff. They are not going to ask like why we use PCR, what is the protocol of PCR. They're just going to check whether you used it or not in your real life. And second important thing is like while giving an interview, try to maintain your eye contact, and while you speak, don't break the flow. Just be confident enough. The one who are taking interview are going to be very friendly. They're going to make you comfortable first. It's not like Indian vivas which goes on. It's completely opposite to that. And after taking interview, they're going to ask times. Few people ask for time. Few people say that okay, if they really like you, the next email they would mention that okay, I'm going to fund for you, you can start the application process. So that's how the application process starts for the university, where your PI or the professor is the one taking care of your application and is the one who is guiding you for the application through the university and stuff. So this is how the interview process happens. But I said like there are two important things. One is the background of the professor. Just go through it, have a look at it, read his recent publications. Second one, believe in your resume. Faking anything, be confident. Don't lose your hope. It's going to take you through that. So that's how the interviews are taken, and interviews are only taken just to know you in person in much better way, just to have an idea on you, like whether you really know about things going on around or just you are faking things up. Because mostly the thing is like Americans have this thing of honesty. They believe in you, and that's the biggest thing, and that's a great thing from Americans or the internationals, what we call them. So this is how your interview is done. After the interview, you will be starting the application process, and every university has a different application process, and every university application process is mentioned in their official websites. So, for example, you are applying for University Nebraska Lincoln. Nebraska Lincoln has their own official site. You can mail the administrative staff in the respective departments regarding the admission process. So this is how the admission takes place. And after that, coming to the future perspectives, we're going to talk about like what are the possibilities after completion of masters. So after completion of bachelor's, when you are coming here for masters, you are opening a wide window for you where you're going to learn like multiple things. Like you're going to learn machine learning, you want to learn like bioinformatic tools, a lot of new techniques and stuff. So after masters, you have like you can get into an industry means you can go and get a job or a placement, or you can continue your study in the same research as a PhD candidate or PhD student. Another thing is like mostly people are choosing to go and work as a research assistant these days. So that is one interesting thing. So coming to the salary and stuff, normally after masters in industry, I think now the pay scale is around 60,000 USD per annum, I think so. And when you choose or opt for a PhD after masters, it depends upon the area you are doing your PhD. But averagely, it is around 24,000 USD per annum, the stipend for PhD, normally 24 to 27, depending upon the area. And coming to the research assistant positions, people these days are preferring master student also for research assistant, and part time they can do PhD as working as research assistant. In these scenarios, the stipend is around 40 to 45,000 USD. And the one who are coming here for PhD after completion of masters, for them the another option is getting into an postdoc position where they're going to work around for 2 3 years just for gaining experience and publications and stuff. After working as postdoc, they're going to get into industry, or after completion of PhD, if the PI or if you really know any good industries and stuff, you can directly start a position in the industry. So these are the future possibilities of getting into these things. And yeah. So these are the possibilities and potential positions where we focus after doing our master's or PhD. And there are few questions which we're going to look into it. Like mostly people are asking regarding a PhD in foreign country, basic requirement and stuff, and masters in foreign countries, the basic requirement and stuff. So it doesn't matter like which country you are choosing, whether you are choosing Canada, USA, Israel, England, UK, Japan, Sri Lanka, whatever it is. The important thing is your scores, your resume, how you're performing in your interview. After that, the procedure is in their official websites, so they're gonna guide through them. And coming to the financial status and stuff, the stipend which they are paying you here is more than enough for your living, and you can save some amount of money. But in some cases, you need to pay like around $500 per semester. Sudarshan, do I'm right? 500 per semester or month?
Sometimes it's more than that.
Yeah.
It depends upon the the credits that you take. Sometimes last semester I took 7 credits and I have to pay like 2,500. No, sorry, $1,900 for that. So it depends upon the university also, and and that will reflect upon your stipend amount also. So that's like the amount of stipend that you are getting will be enough for you to survive here. Like so you can go to like some places or you can visit some places also. The stipend will also cover for that if you know how to save yourself. So yeah.
Yeah. The one thing I can say that like the financial support which is coming from the university is gonna cover all your expenses, including your living expenses, your tuition costs sometimes, and your health insurance. Everything it's gonna cover. So there is no need to worry about the financial status or something, because everything is provided at free of cost and you are getting paid in return. So never ever worry about the financial status coming to abroad. Just focus on your exams and stuff. And yes, you need some investment before coming to US, such as paying for your GRE exam, IELTS exam, visa appointments. These things you need to
Seriously.
pay. And in some scenarios you need to book your own flight ticket. Some scenarios you are funded for the travel too. So it depends upon the PI and the grant which is having and how much money he's having and stuff. So that's what the session is all about. I think we covered most of the questions and stuff. And the
I think
process is,
I have few questions there from like participants. I think I'll cover a few of them, right?
yeah, like Sudarshan is gonna now talk about agribusiness management, and he wanna talk
Okay,
about the Nepali students availability and stuff. So
so
go ahead.
I'll go through the questions that I have like mentioned here. So the first question is about the scope of higher studies after completion of MSc in agribusiness management, any scholarship program for it. So as a far as it goes for the agribusiness management or economics or any other subject, there are grants that the PI gets, or let's say the PI means that we have been talking is the principal investigator. So uh, the professor that you choose, they have some grants and they will sponsor on the basis of their grants. So it doesn't matter the subject area specifically, because if they have the grants or if they have the project that they are working on, they will hire some students to work on that. So it yeah, for the agribusiness management also, yes, you can get. I have like a few friend here, one friend here in my university from, I don't know where is he from, but he's from India, but I don't know which part of India he's from. So he's doing he did his MS here in economics. So yeah, you can get that in agribusiness management also. The second question is, are international students eligible for obtaining placements? What are the procedures and necessary details to consider by international students for acquiring placement? So I'm not sure, like they have like the um, special or different placement fest like BHU have, like in the IIT there we have seen like the placement week is going on and everybody is like on the suits and everything. So I don't know if they have like those kind of things, but you get to go to the conferences here, and in the conference you meet the people where they many recruiters also move through your uh, poster or through your uh, what we say, like your presentations, and like sometimes you get the email from them that they are interested in you. Because recently there I have one friend who just got like call from one big company. I don't know. It is an aquaculture sector, so I don't know the company, but he got email from there like they are interested to work with him. So sometimes these kind of like yes, international students are eligible for those kind of placements if they you get a call. So I hope you get a call. So, and going abroad for masters, how does that work, and is it worth it? If so, in what terms? So I cannot say in what terms is it worth it or not, because now we are here in for me there are few terms that are worth it because I like the place, US. So yeah, that's one term for me, and the education that I'm getting is definitely a good one. So, and the subject area that I was interested, like from the beginning I was interested in a little bit in soil science, but I was going through like environmental stuffs and then all those things, and now I get to work on the environmental chemistry or environmental sector. So that gives me a very good relief that I'm still on my sector that I thought of will I will be working, because my background was agriculture and I cannot work directly on the different subject, right? But this gave me an opportunity to like work on environmental sector that I always wanted to do. So yeah, um, it is worth it, I can say. And you get your own like money, so why not? And how did they manage their day-to-day lifestyle and expenses? Yeah, so they just mentioned your stipend will cover you for your living expenses and for your university also. So yeah, you can maintain your daily expenses and like day-to-day lifestyle. And there was one question on how to enroll for PhD abroad in agribusiness management or marketing field. So it is similar for every subject that we mentioned. So you first search the professor. First, you get your TOEFL and your GRE done, and then you search the professor. You email the professor, and the professor will reply you if he is interested in you. You fill out the admission process, or you fill out the forms and submit to the professor. They will like handle those, and then you get I-20, and you get to file your visa at the time. So it is the procedure is similar for everybody. I think that is also similar for PhD, but you have to give the after you get enrolled, you have to give some exam for the PhD, right, Sushradeep? I think Sushradeep will mention that later. And there's one question from Nepali student. Yeah, is it available for Nepali students? Yes, yes, it is available for everybody. So it is not specific to any one country. So I am from
Excuse me, I just need to add one thing. Irrespective of being Indian, Nepali, Bhutan, Myanmar, Nigerian, Sri Lankan, anywhere from the world, you can
yeah,
go to
you can.
anywhere and do research.
So yeah, I have seen one guy from Nepal, Yamnath, I guess. Yeah, I am not. So yeah, you can get from anywhere. So like we have many Nepali people over here, like many from BHU also. I am here. There's one my senior Manjil Kafle. There is one another senior Subhas. He's from Nepal, and many from Nepal. Like if we get like sometimes to meet, if you guys come here, we can meet in a conference like sometime. Because last time I went to a conference, I met a lot of people from BHU. So yeah, and the opportunities of employment for soil science and agricultural chemistry MSc students in foreign. So the opportunity that you get after your soil science and agricultural chemistry is you can work as a PhD student after MSc. So that is one opportunity or one way to go. The second thing is you get to industry. So for the industry, you I'll talk about like those industries and everything a little bit later, like how you can go get to the industry directly to the industry or something like that. So I'll skip this question. I'll talk about it later. So, what all exams do we have to give to enter into good foreign universities, and from when do we have to start our preparation for this? Yes, Sushdeep answered this question, I guess. So, for the good foreign university, you don't need to give any exam, competitive exam, but you need to give GRE or TOEFL or IELTS or any English language proficiency test. Like for English proficiency test, you don't need to worry. Like you don't need to stick to TOEFL or you don't need to stick to IELTS. You can also give PT. The Duolingo is like now getting its market fair share of market right now. So you can see the university's requirement. It is listed on the university. So like first scout out through 5-10 universities requirement, and then you can say, okay, I'm going to give a TOEFL or I'm going to give IELTS. So like if you are planning for the Europe, then they prefer like IELTS, but TOEFL is considered. So if you are going for the Australia, then they prefer PT, but TOEFL and IELTS both are acceptable. So first do your research, and then you can finalize what you want to do. And what are the scope and jobs for agricultural research scientists in abroad and foreign countries? So for the scope industry, like marketing industry, you get to get like I have found one thing like a different here in US after I came here is few of my friends who did masters here, like they are old but like they are studying like with us also. They are doing their PhDs and they are also studying with us. They took 1 or 2 courses from our course catalog. So what they do is like they first complete their masters or PhD, and they open the like industry based on their experience or like what they did on their masters as a project, or what they did on their PhD as a project. So there is one guy who did his PhD on black soldier fly, that is entomology, and like he opened a farm of black soldier fly, and now he's recruiting students or like he's recruiting people from like entomology so that they can work on that. So yeah, like you have a very lot of scope, and the first thing is PhD. Second is research assistant that you get to get, you can do. The third is postdoc that you can get. So the visa procedures, and then you can get fellowships for the postdocs, and I'll talk about that later. And what are the effect of eardrop or ear back or repeat? So I answered that question. What is the roadmap to move abroad? Yeah, we went through that. What if Okay, yeah. There's one question in which says which scholarship is provided in Europe country for agriculture sector. So for Europe, I think there are two main. One is Erasmus Mundus, and the second is DAD. So Erasmus is
पूरा डिस्प्ले
for
प्लीज
the
कर दे
like whole
पूरा
Europe.
साथ बैठ गया नीचे बैठा लिया तो वो भी साथ में बैठ गया और क्यों सर ये भी था सौरभ और रवि ये सब
Hi Rahul. So yeah, for the Erasmus, it is like joint degree program in Europe. So you get to go from one university to another university to during your study at the time. So for the DAD scholarship, it is based on Germany. So Germany gives you like a certain time before like they open the application, and you file the application and you go through their language test and their on test. I don't know the much detail about the DAD test, but and in Germany you can like directly apply to the universities like University of Göttingen, George August University, and like University of Kassel, and they have like some joint degrees in them. So you get first you have to give the like German language test, or you need to learn the German language, and then you can apply for the university. So that I know of is like there is one joint degree between George August University and University of Kassel. So yeah, in Europe, I prefer to say like I that I know of is Erasmus Mundus and DAD. And after that, I want to say like something about job perspectives, and there are many questions about the jobs and all those. So for the job, if you apply for the job, then there are two categories. One is in the academia, and one is in non-academia. Let's say for the academia, you get through the like I've been telling you many times, masters, PhD, postdoc, and then you get to become a professor, assistant professor, associate professor, and full time. I don't know after that what goes around like after assistant or associate professor, but yeah, that is one line. But if you are going for the research assistant post, then you have to have a H1B visa. So now I am in F1 visa, right? And if you are going to apply for the research assistant post, then it would be for the H1B, and for H1B there are two categories. If you are going in the industry, then the industry that you are working will file for your H1B visa application. In that, you have to go through a lottery process in which they do a lottery and they give you visa on that basis of that lottery. But if you are not going on the industry, but if you are working on a non-profit organization like universities, then you bypass that lottery system and you can get the direct H1B visa filed from the university. But that does not guarantee like that the university will be applying for your green card at the time. So the like private companies that they may file for the green card, but the universities they do not file. Mostly, I don't know, some may do, but that I have known of, they do not file for the green card, but they will file your H1B. So for the job, it is like two process for the H1B. If you go onto the industries, then you'd have to go through a lottery system. If you want to come directly here as a research assistant, because we can like we have many Indian friends or many Nepali people are from all over the world who are working here as a research assistant. They have done their masters there, they have done their PhD in the like India, Nepal, or any other country, but they want to work on US. So there is a job opening, you apply for it, then for that like you go through the H1B process. But if you prefer the research assistant position in the university, you bypass that lottery system and the process will be much easier for that. But for getting a research assistant post, we need to have like very solid background on our skills and our experiences. So yeah, that's I think I've covered many questions here. So if there are any questions, you guys can write on the chat.
Yeah.
So
And
there
okay,
is one
I
question.
would,
I'll address one question. What about average package one gets after masters? So I don't know this. Like if they have a like definite package. So there is one like in my university for the postdoc they have around 40 to 45,000, like 45 to 50,000, let's say. That is the average that they get for the postdoc position. But if you are on the research assistant position, then the salary range from like 45 to 50, let's say. That I've known of. I don't know, this varies upon the like the university and the
I,
place.
I would like to interrupt. I think I just spoke about how much, how much money you're gonna get, like how much you're gonna make after you get into everything, like when you get into industry, when you get into a PhD position, or when you get into a research assistant position after that. I already made a talk on it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
The industry, I think the pay is higher. Yeah.
Yeah, in industry the pay would be high, like you're gonna get around like 120K per annum,
Yeah.
or more than that, depending upon your experience and the projects you have
Yes.
done.
Yeah.
And it also depends upon your residence type, like whether you're on your H1B visa, or whether you're a green card person, or whether you're a PR person.
Yeah.
When you have your H1B, you're gonna get offered around between 120K to 150K, and sometimes they're gonna pick students after who complete their PhD or postdoc. They're gonna pick them into the industry, and they're gonna offer a H1B to them. Like it means like the industry is gonna do the proceedings for your H1B visa. The another one would be if you're joining as a postdoc, you can be on two visas. One is the J1 type, and another one is the H1B. H1B is rare, but J1 visas are normally for postdoc people who are working here. But if
Fellowships.
you, yeah, but if you continue under your same PI or same professor, like if he's offering you a postdoc after your PhD, then there are potential chances that you can be eligible for a H1B visa where your university is going to file for you. And after that, I want to talk about one question here, like which is like my area of concern, like how to pursue PhD in plant pathology in Western countries. So the procedure is same whether it is for PhD or masters, whether it is plant pathology, plant sciences, microbiology. Everything comes under the same stream. But if you are too much concerned about plant pathology, the research in US in plant pathology is mostly about host plant interactions or host pathogen interactions. They are working on rhizosphere, and some are working with the beneficial pathogens, but most of the research in US is considered on soybean because soybean is like the highest crop produced in USA. The diseases related with soybean and the nematodes which are causing like economical significant yield loss in soybean. So this is the concerned areas where they are working on right now. Other than that, also there are many other crops where they are working on, but mostly it is like host pathogen interactions they are mostly concerned about, and they are invading into the genomics of the pathogens and stuff. That's what the research here is about. So if you are considering about your PhD, then I would suggest you better do your master's with some genomics, some bioinformatic tools, and that would be really helpful for you. And one more suggestion would, yeah, I'll come to that question next. And one more suggestion and one more important thing which I forgot to mention for the BSc undergrad students and the master students, the focus and the understanding on statistics. Please don't. Statistical learning is really important for the one who are choosing or preferring to coming to US, and it's better you learn like SAS language, I mean SAS software or R Studios or Python. SAS would be SAS is not available in India, I think so, because you need some license regarding it. But R is a free software and Python is a free software where you guys start working on it. And try to consider your statistic courses very seriously. Please don't ignore them or take it lightly because those things are really important for you while reading a research paper and stuff. And unless and until you don't know like what is ANOVA, what is p-value, what is t-test, f-test, it would be really hard for you guys to understand a research paper. And these are the basic statistical tools or basic statistical knowledge a professor in US would be expecting it from you.
Yeah.
So these are the things. And here we have a question regarding the part-time jobs while during the course of study. So there is no need to do a part-time job, and if you are doing a part-time job with your assistantship, like with funding, it is considered illegal in US. So the best option is like there is no need for extra money because you are completely hired by the professor to work like 12 months a year. And you guys can, I think you can unmute yourself and you can ask questions directly. Doesn't Ivy League provide any course or scope to get for a See, there is not a big difference between Ivy League colleges or the state universities or universities which a state is having. Ivy League colleges are nothing but based on their ranking and stuff. If you consider like Cornell, which is in Ivy League, but the research where they do is the same research which is done in other parts of US too. So
I'll add something on this. So
yeah, sure, go ahead.
these days, like the research that many professors are doing are a collaborative work. So, like if a professor from Ivy League is doing his work, then the work is also being done in like collaboration with any other small university, or like the grant is provided to the many universities, or they have to collaborate and they have to verify their research. So yeah, I don't think like it does matter if you go to the Ivy League or not. But if you are into research or if you want to like have a good understanding and if you want to like pursue in the research, then I don't think it matters for which university that you go. It matters like what PI you choose, what subject you choose. That definitely matters. What research you are doing, that definitely matters. But the university's ranking, I don't think that matters. Yeah.
The thing is like one thing you can consider is like when your PI, like when your professor is having funding, when your professor is having projects, it means that your professor has done something in his life. In
Yeah.
which university he is, whether he is from a big university such as Cornell, Duke or something, or whether he is from like small universities like Texas and well, or there are like many universities in US. But only thing that matter is whether your professor is having funding or not, whether he is able to fund your studies or not. If a professor is having funding, it means he is knowledgeable, his research is well recognized, his research has some future scope. That's the reason he has got some funds from a great competition.
And I want to add one more thing here. Like, this is a fun thing. So in the bigger universities, you have to find the fund yourself sometimes to go to the conferences. But like in small universities or moderate university, the university will provide you fund to go to conferences. So that is a perk for us, right? So, like, if I want to go to a conference, I just can email my professor. Okay, I want to present my data, or I want to present my results in this conference. I want to do like poster presentation. I want to give a rapid 5 minute, or I want to give a full fledged presentation. So I can email the professor and say the professor will cooperate or collaborate with me, and they will send us in those conferences. But in a bigger university, sometimes not every university, but sometimes in big universities you don't get the funding. Even the professor intends to send to you there, you have to find your own funding. Like, there are graduate groups, or like there are clubs, or I don't know, like there are committees which provide those kind of fundings. For that you need to be on like some of the, you have to be engaged on those things. So yeah, there's not much of
Yeah,
difference.
and coming to the next question regarding like the regarding admission abroad for PhD and the process of getting a PhD. So the thing is, like, when you are in master's second year or starting of second year, I would suggest give your exams like GRE and IELTS, and start mailing the professors mentioning that these are my research objectives and this is the period of time like I'll be completing my project, and after that I'm looking for a PhD position. You can start mailing in the starting of second year, or you can start mailing after third semester starting to, if you have time and you can manage your theses, your research, and mailing the professors. And coming to the funding with the PhD, when you are accepted for PhD, you are getting funded for your whole PhD course. And the funding is based on your performances in exams in USA. You need to maintain a minimum grade above 3 and above in every semester to maintain your assistantship. If you are getting a grade less than 3.0 in any semester, your assistantship is terminated or it is put on hold. So getting an assistantship from India, you come to US, it's not like you are free that, okay, you came into US, okay, it's fun, it's fine, and it's fun for me right now. So you need to maintain your grades too. Okay, here is a question. Our class schedule feels so hectic. How to manage time between study preparation and internships? Okay, this is a nice question. Basically, this is what makes you a person. Basically, if you are able to manage all those things, then only you would be in a position to manage many things after coming here. Everyone who is in US right now has been through a lot of stress, pressure, deadlines, and sleepless nights sometimes, I could say, because the schedules are very different, the time zones are very different. I used to potentially mail at around 12 o'clock in the night till 3 o'clock in the morning, and I used to sleep at 3:30 and wake up at next day around 7, 8 or 9 and go to the classes. So yeah, I know that it's kind of hectic only, but you need to manage your time. That's what it is all about. Take like 2 hours at night around 12 to 1 or 10 to 12 also. Those would be the early hours for the PIs or professors in international countries. So your mail would be the first one when they open the inbox. That's your priority and that's need to be your priority. So that's how you can manage it. And another thing is like the it is not like 100% you're gonna end up in US, but I would say like it's always you give a chance on it, you give a try on it. But when you try it, try very hard. Try to be consistent. Don't be a wavery kind of person, like listening to some other person, like few people are in US. It means that we are in US right now because we tried consistently. We went through a lot of pressure. We have seen downfalls. It's not like so easily we have made it. And sometimes it's better you have a plan B too. I would suggest that personally, but it's up to you. Because you are in undergrad like BSc, you can get into BHU easily sometimes. So get into BHU, just register in it and start keep mailing professors. This is another way I would suggest. so that when you clear everything, you are always good to go. So who doesn't want to take this pressure, stress and stuff? Because I have seen my seniors who took like one year gap, I think, after their undergrad, and they came to US after 1 year, and they utilized this 1 year in performing internships from ICRISAT, or showing showing their complete dedication towards mailing the professors. So I have seen like few of my seniors in that way. Okay, here we have a next question. How to find academic internship under professors other than BHU, and how to present a report in some webinar? I think we did our internships in 2019, but Aniket would be the right person to talk about how to find an internships under professor right now, because he's the new one out of the BHU, I think so. Aniket, are you here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead, bud.
Basically, there are two kind of internship that a student can perform. There are certain internship which are offered by research institutions like like Indian National Science Congress, I think something like that. That also offers internship in during summer. And other one is like you can directly approach to the professor that is working in the area of your interest and mail him and ask him whether they have some space for you. And and I guess uh, apart from BHU, it is better to apply for ERI because it is the regional center. It is also an international institution, so the certificates is quite valuable. And also you can apply for in, Indian Institute of Vegetable Research as well, and Indian Institute of Horticulture Research. These are quite premium research institute that offer you can say a holistic um, uh, lab experience. And in case in our campus, you can look for central laboratory in genetics and plant breeding. That also offers the techniques and the tools which are there are more or less common in every field of research where you go.
I would like to share a story like how we found our internship. Like me and Sudarshan, we did under PK Singh sir. So I think it's like final year, and then we got serious about GRE and stuff. Before that, we were like very chill, cool kind of people. Like if people from this group know me, like I used to be the chill candidate, not much serious about grades and stuff. So it was final year, and we need something to put on our resumes and stuff. So we went to Brinchi sir first. Brinchi sir said that it's very hard for him to manage two more students in his lab. After that, then we went to VK Mishra sir. VK Mishra sir also said the same thing. Then we went to VK Singh sir. We tried with Divedi sir also. Divedi sir wasn't there at that time. At last, when we asked PK Singh sir was really humble. He said in the in the next second, like, okay, you guys can come from tomorrow and you can join. So there are a lot of opportunities. Only thing is like you need to find them. If not PK Singh sir, we have decided to go to RS Meena sir from agronomy, or Rakshit sir, whoever it is. There are a lot of people. It's like only thing is like you need to communicate with them. And the thing, next question is how to present a report in webinars. So the thing is like webinars are different and conferences are different. Webinars are something which they arrange a webinar on a particular topic. It's kind of a workshop kind of thing, or giving an insights on a particular topic. But conferences are the places where you're going to present your report, such as in a poster way or an oral presentation. You can do that. And another question is like how to write a review articles on ongoing topics and stuff. It's very simple. When you just type in Google saying that like what is the scenario of agriculture right now, you get like hundreds of topics going on. Like they say like precision ag, robots in agriculture. And when you come to the plant sciences, like how they are invading the genome to find the resistance genes and stuff. So there are like, if you can explore Google in such a good way, all these things can be find out very easily. And I think So Darshan can answer the next question about the details of professors
Yes.
and stuff. I think he already mentioned about it, and he will give
Okay.
a brief.
First, I want to add something like from the previous question. So, for Nepali folks who want to do internships, so you guys can go to NARC, and then there you can get some internship opportunities. So I did my internship in NARC. That's I forgot the full form. So yeah, the short form is NARC, and there you can get the like internship. You can go to the like one like scientist, and you can email to them and say that I am willing to work under your stewardships or under your guidance. So they will provide you with the details, and then sometimes you have to pay for the internships also. In some places, I don't know much that much because I didn't pay it, but I heard people have to pay. So yeah, you can get the internships because I did my 3 months internship in NARC. So yeah, you can get that one. And another question is, yeah, and I want to add on another, just as Sushrudeep said, and how to find topics to write on the case of writing articles. So it is not a like you don't have to search for a new breaking thing while you are writing in the initial phase. You can just review. You can just review anything that you want. Like you are reading about the NPK fertilizers, then you can write about that. So you have to, but you have to read those things. And if you want to go further more, then try to find like the relevant subject that is relevant not today, but that may be relevant in 2 or 3 years. So what happens is in the when you are writing the articles, the people are already working on those topics. So they have been working on 2 3 years, and those are they are currently working on right now. So the paper will get published in the like very um, early. So like in the very near future, the papers will get published. So I prefer to say like if you want to do something groundbreaking or if you want to do be a little bit stand out of the box, then you have to think like 2 3 years from now, and then you have to write this because my PI says this to me every time. So yeah, this is the thing that I can give you guys. So further, another thing is how we get details of professors or research assistant available in particular professors. So this is the summary of that I said. So for the professor's detail, you get to the university website, you get the detail. If you don't find there, you go to the Google Scholar, type in their name, you'll get the detail of the professors. If not there, go to ResearchGate, you'll type in the professor's name, you'll get the details of the professors, right? So or research assistant available in particular professor, right? So this is what I've been talking about. Like you go to the university website, you go to the professor's profile, then in the sidebar there may be like a vacancy, or there can be a photo or like image of a, like the vacancy that they have posted. You cannot like there may not be a link to that, but there may be an image of that, like when the posting was done and everything like that. The second thing is uh, research assistantship available in particular project. Second thing is you go to their LinkedIn profile, they will share that, or you go to their Twitter profile, they will share there. So yeah, this is the way that you get. And I'll also address next question: can we change the course setup to software science in masters? I would not say like you can directly go to the software science, but the subjects are integrated. So if you prefer to do like software, or if you want to do coding or everything like that, you can go to like machine learning in agriculture or data science in life sciences or those kind of stuffs. But there is a catch. So I've seen many people here in US who have like changed their stream completely. Like there is one guy who did his hotel management, and he's now working on Apple as a like DevOps. So there is a possibility, right? But you need to have like something to hold on to you, because if you are coming here as a like for the if you did your bachelor's in UG in like agriculture and you want to pursue your career in like software science, that would be a very hard catch because you don't have any background of it. So like though the guy that I talked to like was working on in a hotel here in Hilton, and he went to the Apple for his like job. So what he did was he did like 15 months training on like the subject. So he did his work. So if you want to pursue in that like computer science or software science, then you have to do the work. Like you have to get the trainings, you need to get the, like your researches and everything on that particular subject. But if you want to like do something on, if you are interested in like computer science, or if, but also if you want to stay in agriculture, or you want to pursue in agriculture, then you can try like data science, life sciences, and data analysis, and like you can try AI, remote sensing, those kind of stuff. So yeah, that's
I want to add up a different answer for this question for what Sudarshan has said. I've seen people transferring their major from agriculture to pure computer sciences. But the thing is, like, you're going to face some troubles in doing that because you would be completely new to coding because you don't have the basics of C++, Java, and stuff.
yeah.
But if you really prefer to change it to a computer science because you're going to get some opportunities in USA, but be ready for facing a bigger question that what what is the reason you changed for. So your answer should be very genuine enough to convince the recruiters who are going to recruit you for the position. Okay. But if you want to work with machine learning, then bioinformatics is something which is really improving in these days, where which is filling the gulf between agriculture and machine learning, I would say. If you are really interested to work with softwares, get for a bioinformatics and genomics degree, start working and developing tools where you can analyze the genomes of plant regarding everything you can find it out, I think so. And coming to the next question, what are the other research and good packages promising things one can apply into after undergrad? So first thing, after undergrad, it's very hard for you to get a direct placement in United States. Only the way you can come to US is through having a master's degree. Because after getting masters, then I said you previously also your options would be open for industry, PhD, and research assistant or kind of positions in the university level. So the package would be averagely between 50 to 60,000 USD per annum, depending upon the location. If you are living in California, where the per capita per person is much higher than the person or people who are living in rural areas. So when you are doing a research assistant position in California, your salary is going to be like 90,000 USD per annum. But the same position while you are working in Arkansas or North Dakota or South Dakota, it's going to be like 40 to 50,000 USD per annum. So it depends upon state to state, county to county, area to area, from suburbs to city. So nothing is like very permanent or persistent, we could say. It changes.
Yeah.
Still, any more questions?
And one more thing I would like to add regarding this writing articles or writing review. Uh, One of my batchmate, he during last 1 year he has published a lot of chapters. So one day I just asked him, I mean, how do you write so much? Uh, I mean, where did you get so much of time to write all this? So what he said is like, uh, we all have got a lot of assignments during lockdown time. Okay, so what he did is he just uh, refurbished those assignments and published it in form of chapters. He removed the flag. He just trimmed their assignment. He put some efforts. He just organized that assignment because the assignment is on a particular topic. So he just refurbished the assignment and just send it to editors for publication.
Yeah, I would like to add for this thing. Even the article which Sudarshan was saying in the starting also was a kind of assignment which we had in the final semester, where has the crowd follows, even we follow the same thing, like copying one others, just changing the numericals and submitting the assignment, thinking that just for time's sake. But if you really put an effort in doing your assignments in the way you wanted to do it, you can easily publish them. So that's the difference between BHU and other universities, I feel like, because if you look at a resume of an undergrad who is passing out from Punjab Agriculture University, you can see like multiple publications. And when I ask those people like how it is easy for you to publish or something, they just say that These are all the assignments or the projects which we have done in our undergrad. These are like our class assignments, class projects, something. Even BHU is also offering you a platform to do projects. Even I think I do remember, I think it is third year, I think third year first semester and third year second semester, where we have a course called as crop production, where you guys need to grow a crop from starting to the end. So if you guys can utilize that, you can really make a research paper on it, because you are getting an experimental unit of 2 by 2 meter plot. So you can start writing a paper on it and you can publish it in small journals. But we don't do that because we always prefer going in the other way, the easy path. So the one who utilizes it would shine. The one who
Yeah.
doesn't also would shine, but in a different way. That's it.
So
So my
I will add something here. So being in BHU alumni, I can say, yeah. So it is a one night fight for every one of us. So
exactly.
because yeah, many of you guys are like hesitant to open your camera here because yes, I know the hesitancy is runs in our blood that I'm from also PHU, so I can say that. But it is the last minute that we do our assignments every time, not like there's not one time, like every time we do our assignment in the very last minute, and then we prefer to like stay lazy in that time. But in my final year I realized that like let's change this, and I wrote that uh, report by myself. I read a lot. I read many papers on that at the time, because that was there was nothing like anybody said to us about writing review articles or anything at the time, because we didn't know anything at the time. We were thinking like we'll go outside or we'll go abroad for like for our masters, but we didn't have a clue in the time. So nobody told us you have to write a review articles or you have to write a research articles. Only in the third year or like fourth year we got to know about those things. And had we known earlier that okay, we can do these kind of things, we can write a research paper or even a small article based on our plots, 2 by 2 plots, we could have done that. Because I don't know about Sushil, but I had like I did my fair share of work on those projects. Like I used to read a lot. I used to write a lot. Like I used to make like my own thesis out of those. But like it is the last 1 minute fight, last one night fight, and like every time that got out of hand. But so you guys are there right now. So if you get chance to like do things, then it is a very good time for you to start, because nobody told us at the time. But now we are telling you guys, you can say no. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to say a few more things while Sudarshan is talking about these things, so that I'm getting back to my BHU days. So the thing is, like, I wasn't that serious in my first, second year or even in the third year too, but while I started that I need to go to abroad, I have no other option other than going to abroad, because I'm not so studious into JRF and stuff too. So then, while I was preparing my resume for the first time, I think which is in like third year of second semester, my resume was just like a one-page thing, We just had like where did I passed out from, the trainings which I've done. That's it. There were no internships, there were no publications, there nothing were there in it. Then I decided like something I need to do at that time. Then I searched for an internship. Then I started collaborating with some of the master students there, and I worked in their projects. That's how I got like few publications. And me and Sudarshan had one publication. I think that we did in COVID time. Like Aniket was sharing one of his friend's story. The same story is for us also. Like we were bored in COVID, so we took back our assignments, projects, and we were doing. And one thing which helped me is like if you want to mention your experiences for mostly coming into plant sciences side, like microbiology, plant pathology side, I would suggest in final year you prefer going to entomology and pathology course. Sorry, entomology and mycology course, where you guys work on trichoderma, trichogramma, and mushroom cultivation. That would be an interesting course for you guys, and that would add up an extra thing in your resume. because trichoderma is one of the important biofertilizer, and most of the people in US are working on it, and still the researchers are going on finding the interaction between that beneficial fungi and trichoderma, how they're gonna help it, how they're gonna enhance the yield and stuff, how they're gonna enhance the input of nitrogen in the soil. Most of the researchers are going on this on the beneficial side. So my suggestion would be that, like, who are really interested in coming into the plant sciences side, that would be a good option. Where you want to just do kind of stuff, then remaining other options are there. But I chose that, so I found a benefit on it. That's why I'm suggesting you that.
So we have one more question, like what of social catch-up status, like studying abroad. So yeah, you get to meet a lot of people from different backgrounds, right? So like I'm here a Nepali guy, and we have friends from like we have friends from India, yeah, definitely. And we have friends from Jamaica, we have friends from Kenya, we have friends from Canada, we have friends from Europe. So this is like very good hub to start. Like you get to meet a lot of people, and you get to like share your time with them. You get to spend your time with them. You get to share your research with them. So that is very interesting thing to do, like be a part of. It gives you a very different insight to their life. So I didn't know like many Bangladeshi people, like I have
Come
like
to
few
US.
friends. Yeah, yeah, I didn't know that. Like there are many Bangladeshis, but like they are
No,
like
the thing
now
is,
I'm getting to know about their culture, and now like sometimes we share our foods, and I didn't know about the Thanksgiving. Like they have like a grand celebration, and we get invited to those kind of events, and they are interesting. Yeah, you get to
I,
have some
I would
social
I would
gatherings.
like to add up to Sudarshan. Even basically, I'm in South Indian, proper South Indian. So when I came to, like, it was a big hub for me where I came across people from other parts of the country, mostly from central India, the northern India, and people from Bihar, UP, West Bengal, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra. Like, I came across a lot of people there. So it was like a diversity hub for me. And coming to US, here you come across people from all over the world, from Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya. So it's like a diverse culture you would be getting into, and you would come to know, like, what are their research interests and what are their research concerns about, and you share a lot of different things, like, because who come from a different cultural background, they come from a different cultural background, and they are interested to know about, like, what India is and stuff, what kind of research is in India and stuff. And we are interested to know, like, how many people in this group really know that Nigeria is doing a really good research than India. If I say that, how many people would say, seriously, are Nigerians really doing that? But yes, Nigerians are really ahead of India in research. So when you meet people, you will come to know. That's it. And even you can get connected to other country peoples in LinkedIn. Like, LinkedIn is really a good place, I would say, where you can follow them if you really like their ongoing projects and stuff. Like, you can interact with many grad students also and their research also. So try to explore LinkedIn. That would help you finding out, like, most of the answers for your questions.
And don't forget Twitter, but like don't tweet in the middle of the night. That's the thing. Yeah.
And I would like to end up this session. I think. Oh, we got one more question. Okay.
Good morning.
Uh,
Question from my side. My name is Lokesh Agrawal. Presently, I'm in BSc AG fourth part four. First
okay.
of all, I'm thankful to you, sir, for giving your time to us. And also, I'm thankful to my placement secretaries and training secretaries for bringing this opportunity to us. So, thank you, Pragya ma'am, and thank you, Arun sir. Sir, my question is from the above conversation we had, it is very much clear that writing skills plays an important role, be it for writing review paper, research paper article, or SOPs, or cover letter, even for email. Like email plays a very important role. So, how to improve that particular needed type of writing skills, or how to learn that writing skills? The first question, sir.
Okay. So does it have any follow-up questions too, or only one question?
The question is going to another city is in itself a big task, and moving to another country is much bigger than that. So, what was your initial day struggle, or is it there anything like initial day struggle?
Okay. Okay, so coming to the first question, like you asked, like how to improve your writing skills. So to improve your writing skills, first you need to have a good reading skills. So it starts from your reading, okay? So reading starts from, I said it, try to read newspaper daily, that too English one. So when you read a lot of things, you will come across a lot of different, and some of the words you don't know the meaning. So you start finding the meaning for those words and try to use them in your daily thing. And when you are really good with your vocabulary, writing would be a easy part then. And to improve your writing, there are some good video lectures in YouTube. You can follow it. And there are some really writing content videos, how to write, are there in YouTube, so you can follow them. Only thing you need to follow while writing is the grammatical corrections or the errors you do, the punctuations, where to use and how to use, and paraphrasing, like not more similar word more number of times, try to find the synonyms for it. So these are the important things of concern. And how to write a formal, to write an informal letter, you need to know, because these are the basic things they expect from a student.
So yeah, I'll add something to this. So the question is about like how are we going to write, like, so what would be the pattern or something like that. So yeah, the first thing is Srushtadeep said, reading. You need to improve your reading skills. That's the thing. You need to read and read and read. That's the thing. There's no other way. Like there is no other getaway. There's no shortcut to that, right? So, but while you are reading, be critical to the article that you are reading. So ask a lot of questions, like ask a question in every sentence. So if they are saying the sun moves around sorry, the earth move around the sun, then why is the sun earth moving around the sun? Ask the question and like see if that sentence answers your questions or not. If not, then search for another, just google it. But you have to like be critical on those every sentence and say, like, not many papers are good, not many, like every paper is uh, that is saying the fact. Like sometimes there are errors and sometimes the articles get updated over time, right? So you don't have to stick to, or you don't have to believe in one thing at the time, but be critical on those articles. And if you are being critical on those articles, you'll be critical while you are writing. So that's my suggestion: read and be critical. That's the take I will give. And the second follow-up question was about the moving into the new city, like how was the experience and everything like that. So yeah, moving into a new city is a bit like hassle in the beginning, and then uh, continuous hassle for like some time. So first, after you get to US, first, uh, after you get accepted, after you get your visa and everything, you talk to the people or you talk to the professor, asking them help, like where I'm going to study, like where I'm going to stay or something like that. If you have seniors over there, then ask them. If not, you will tell the problem to the professor. They will arrange meet up with their students, other students, and sometimes they will guide you through that. And after you get here, there will be a lot of shopping in the initial phase. So yeah, you have to be prepared for that, and definitely don't convert the money from the conversion will like do the mood swings on you. So yeah, it will be a very like very rapid process for you to like process. So first 2 3 days you will be going on through the jet lags and everything, and then you have to you realize that I have to buy this and this and these things, and then you go on a shopping streak, and then the next day comes, you have to meet the professor and everything, and then the next day you have to like do the class course registration and do the like the official works and everything, and then you get to start the class. So that would be a very like, fast and rapid process in the beginning. So you have to be prepared about that. Yeah, I think.
Okay, I want to add up to Sudarshan one thing. Like when I first came to US, like I sorted everything back from India because I had time. So I would prefer like you sort everything, like where you are living, who you're gonna live with, and try to make some friends here first. There are a lot of Facebook groups. Other option would be like your seniors, because your seniors might have like friends in the same university. So like common friends, they're gonna help you out finding a place. And another important thing is like the in the starting, what we do is like every time we buy anything, we just do into 78 or 74. What is the rate going on back in India? So, but after getting habituated here, it would be like very normal. But few days is kind of tough because you need to deal with your jet lag. You don't know most of the things in US, how it's gonna be, and you are independent. The biggest thing is like you are independent. You are financially independent. You are independent by yourself. Like your mom is not going to be with you. Your dad is not going to be with you. Only thing they're going to be with you is in your phone calls. Your mom is not going to cook food for you. You're going to cook food for yourself. You need to clean your room. You need to handle your research. And if you have roommates, you need to have a balanced life with your roommates too. So it's a kind of challenging, but these things will evolve you into a human being, like a man with responsibilities and stuff. And we have like a couple of questions here. One is from Shreya. She mentioned that like she's asking like whether it is promising. Shreya, could you please speak out the question because I really didn't understand like what you want to know, whether it is promising in India or whether it is promising in US.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah.
So my question is like tech, basically agriculture and technology. So is it India? In India, it's basically all about research and things. We understand whatever we are going to study in foreign university, we can apply through research papers and all. But if we apply for anything related to agriculture and technology, so in India, it isn't that much explored. Like we don't study anything related to agriculture and technology much. So
Hmm.
is it promising in respect to like do we get the exposure out there in foreign universities?
So if you are thinking about like, are we gonna get exposure for the modern techniques and stuff which we are gonna use in agriculture, or enhancing the crop production or yield production or whatever it is?
Is it only about agriculture machineries? It's basically about
No.
connecting how we can connect softwares and
Yeah,
related things
exactly.
into agriculture.
So the thing is here, like in US also, the research is divided into multiple divisions. Like few people work on dealing with machine learning in agriculture. Few people are purely into finding out the interactions through traditional style. That's what they call right now as sustainable agriculture or organic way of farming or traditional way of farming. The other one with the fungicides and insecticides or fertilizers. The other people are working on the host directly, means the plant genomic side. So multiple projects are going on in US. So obviously, I would suggest like we can't compare the research in India to the research in USA because India is like much more behind in US. Because
So
in
that's
India,
why initially I asked, sorry for interrupting, but
yeah,
that's
go
why
ahead.
I asked about initially that Ivy Leagues. Definitely, that makes no difference whether you are studying from any universities, but the peer groups definitely they provide is way much bigger than other universities provide.
So let
Yeah,
me add something over here, right? So if I'm correct, like if I'm on the topic right now, but relating the agriculture with technology or like agricultural tech, so you have to be more specific on those. Like let's say if you are the specifications is like how are you going to relate, what are the criteria that you are taking. Like if you are taking the machineries in agriculture, then that may not satisfy the term that you are telling us, like agriculture agri tech, right? So if you are only integrating agriculture and the softwares and all those things, then also it does not satisfy. So it is integration of like all those sectors, right? Or there are many things like software, hardware, and even from the like chemistry to like biotechnology and everything, right? So it is a very broad topic to say like agriculture technology. So it is because it is a very integrated topic. So let's say people are using machine learning to predict many things, like predict the next swarm or like predict the disease that may arrive next, or like predict the production, like in many things, and people are using the satellite imagery for the soil analysis and everything like that. So it is a very broad topic, and I would say like yeah, our countries are in South Asia or like in many other parts, they are lagging in these kind of sort things, but I don't think like the difference makes between that makes a difference between the Ivy League students or like the middle grade or other universities.
So, okay, I would like to interrupt in this. So, if your only concern was between Ivy League colleges and the other colleges, I think there are only eight Ivy League colleges in USA. And in that, most of the colleges are not having agriculture department in them. So that makes a sense for your question, I think. So never compare like Ivy League, Ivy League. Ivy League is just like a brand, that's it. Just for a kind of exposure. But research in USA is divided into multiple parts, like because the research which goes in the southern part doesn't go in the northern part. The one which goes in the east coast doesn't go in the west coast because southern part of the United States is having like more production of corn, wheat. But when you come to the northern part, it is we are covered with snow and stuff every time. So we just grow crops in only summer, and most of the time we are into our labs and greenhouses testing samples and stuff. So it's completely different. Even the cornel comes in the northern part and which is having snow a part of year. And cornel, the most of the research is on beneficial pathogens, I said, coming to the plant sciences side. So there is no big comparison between Ivy League colleges or any normal colleges. Ivy and if you get admitted to Ivy League college, that is really good. If you get admitted to a normal college, that is also really good. As I mentioned, it doesn't depend upon the college. It only depends upon your professor. That's it. And next question we have so if you are asking me whether you want to take GRE first or TOEFL first, I would prefer take TOEFL first because most of the universities right now are not preferring GRE. So don't stress yourself with GRE. Take TOEFL and start mailing professors. And if professors need a GRE, they would ask you like, what is your GRE score? But be prepared. If a professor asks you what's your GRE score, just say him like, my slot is within a week or within 2 weeks. I'll give my GRE score within 2 weeks. So it's like give your TOEFL score and prepare for GRE. And August, right now you are not eligible for August application because the deadline has been done and the schools are going to start from August 22nd. Just you have 1 month, so you can currently aim for intake or the January intake.
Yeah,
I think all the questions are done. I think, right? If you still have any questions, you can directly speak. That would be better. And Aniket, you want to share anything about your US journey, like how it happened and stuff for you?
Yes, sir. After 1 week, I was thinking like I should have prepared for JRF, but now it's completely fine.
Okay. So now that 1 week you have transferred from a dependent person to an independent person.
Yeah.
within the jet lag you transformed it. So yeah,
Actually, I didn't face any jet lag because my flight was around, 21 hour long. So I really didn't feel any jet lag.
really.
Okay, guys, still you have any questions? Please go ahead. Still we have like around 12 or 20 minutes of time. Okay, then. And I would like to thank the placement cell of BHU for organizing this meet. And I would like to thank my co-speakers, Sudarshan and Aniket, also for joining this. And yeah, and I would like to add like seniors in US are always there. The alumni in the US are always there to help you regarding your procedure, questions, corrections, whatever it is. So just feel free to message us. We will reply in our free times. We are not like so much free, but we would definitely reply you back because you are our priority too.
Yeah,
And
I'll also like to
and
thank. Oh, sorry.
and I would like to ask the placement cell to add up the email address of all the alumni who are in US, so that the juniors or the seniors or the one of my batch right now whom you are comfortable with, you can message them, call them, and we all are available in LinkedIn. You can send requests. If you want to be socially connected, we are in Facebook and Instagram too. You can follow us. We'll also follow you back. You can see like how fun we are doing and stuff. And it was really nice meeting you all. But there is one disappointment from this thing. You guys are not showing your faces, so I really don't know whom I'm talking with and stuff. But it was a nice meet. Chalo, have a nice day. And I think it's time for us to leave. Okay, Bashal, go ahead. I'm done.
All right. Thank you so much, guys, for like inviting me. Thank you so much, Placement Cell, and like you guys, you're amazing. Yeah, the one thing that I have complained is of like you guys not opening the video feeds. So this is the signage that we get from BHO, I guess. So after some time, you get over it. Yeah. So better try to be not to be shy from the beginning. So yeah, that's yeah. So open the mics, be confident on those things, and like once you get to open your video feeds, and after you start to speak, then you get your confidence, and this would be the very good thing for your TOEFL or IELTS exam. I'm saying this.
Still, you have time to open your cams and show your faces. Still, you have time. Still, you have like some time to show up. We can stay like 5 more minutes to see who the all just attended this meet and listening to our stuff from past 1 hour or 1.5 hour might be. Okay, it's fine, guys. It's up to you. But it was really nice meeting you all.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
And we are there for guiding you and helping you. No worries about it. And my suggestion would be like, if you are really focusing on building a good resume, whether this resume is not only for coming to abroad, this resume is for getting you a job in India also. If you're trying to get into any placements or anything, this always going to be helpful for you. So after second year, start getting into internships and stuff. And the one who are in final year, it's also not too late for you to start an internship under any professor. Still, you have time and start building your resume and stuff. All the best for you all. And the one who are in masters and aiming for PhD, start your work so it's not late.
Yeah.
And any other questions you have or any personal questions you have, just feel free to message in LinkedIn, or you guys can have my WhatsApp number also. I think Placement Cell is having my WhatsApp number. I'm thinking so. My email address, my my phone number, my LinkedIn ID, is everything is there with them. You go ahead and yeah, chalo, bye. Bye Aniket.
Yep.
Bye Sudarshan. Bye Pragya and
Thank you, Pragya, for
everyone
organizing all
else.
this. Thank you.
Chalo.
Okay.